near the place where the Nile begins, where the water leaves the wide body of Lake Victoria and narrows into purpose. There is a stretch of river that looks harmless, too harmless. In the morning, mist floats just above its surface, not thick, not dramatic, just enough to hide what moves beneath. Tourists stand near the sign that reads Source of the Nile. They laugh. They take photographs. They leave. But the villagers do not laugh near the water. They do not linger. They do not turn their backs fully because they believe something simple. The river remembers, and every year it takes one life. Not always during storms. Not always at night. Sometimes under a sky so blue it feels insulting. A canoe returns alone. A paddle floats near reeds. A name is spoken in a softer voice than usual, and the elders say the same sentence. The Nile has eaten. No one asks how. No one asks why, because asking suggests doubt, and doubt suggests disrespect. And disrespect is dangerous. Among the fishermen was a young man named Cato. He was not loud. He was not rebellious. He was simply observant. He had grown up watching men bow before entering their boats. Not dramatically, just slightly, a touch of the water, a whisper under the breath. Sometimes a coin dropped quietly into the current. His father used to say, "Respect keeps you alive." But as Cato grew older, he began to notice something else. The men who bowed still drowned. The careful ones still disappeared. The river did not seem to reward fear. It simply flowed. One morning, without planning to, Cato stepped into his canoe without bowing. He did not whisper. He did not drop a coin. He simply pushed away from shore. Old Musa saw him. Musa had fished those waters longer than Cato had been alive. "You forgot," Musa said quietly. Cato looked down at the water. "It is only water." The words were soft, but they did not stay soft. By midday, the market knew. By evening, the village knew. And by night, even his own mother knew. The next drowning happened 2 weeks later. A man named Sunday experienced the careful. Respected, his canoe was found drifting at sunset. No cracks, no storm, no sign of struggle. The river was smooth. Too smooth. The elders gathered near the shore. Smoke from incense rose into the evening air. "The Nile is not satisfied," one of them declared. People nodded. But some eyes shifted toward Cato. "It begins like that, not accusation. Just direction at the market the next morning." Conversations changed when he approached. Two women lowered their voices. A fisherman who once shared nets with him suddenly remembered he had other plans. A child stared openly. "Is it true?" the boy asked. "Is what true?" Cato replied. "That you angered the Nile." The question was innocent, which made it worse. Cato forced a smile, but later that night, when the wind brushed against his window and the sound of moving water reached his ears, he lay awake longer than usual. Fear does not arrive as a scream. It arrives as a whisper. What if they are right? The third drowning came during dry season. No rain, no storm, no warning. A teenage boy. Strong swimmer, confident. His friends said he laughed before diving in. He did not come back up. The village gathered that evening. The sky was orange, too beautiful for grief. Elders stood in a circle near the landing site. Smoke rose slowly from burning herbs. The river moved as if nothing had happened. "The Nile is hungry," an elder said. Silence followed. Then someone else added, "It has been disrespected." No one said Cato's name, but heads turned slightly. Just slightly, that is how blame begins. Not loudly, just direction. Kato felt it. He stood at the edge of the crowd. He could leave. He could bow his head. He could apologize for something he did not believe. Instead, he stepped forward, not dramatically, not boldly, just enough. The river is not hungry, he said. The sentence did not echo, but it traveled. What did you say? Musa asked quietly. Kato swallowed. The river is not choosing anyone. A woman gasped. An elder tightened his jaw. You think we are fools? No, Kato replied. I think we are afraid. That word landed heavier than insult, afraid. The crowd shifted. Fear does not like being named. After that night, Kato did not need to be accused. Isolation did the work. His nets were left untouched when help was needed. His canoe rope was tied too tightly one morning. Someone forgot to inform him of a fishing plan. At the market, silence grew thicker around him. One evening, his mother spoke without looking at him. You should apologize. For what? He asked. For speaking. He did not answer because he understood in a village ruled by fear, silence is survival, but fear is not only outside, it grows inside too. That night, Kato dreamed of water, not violent water, still water. He stood in it, knee deep, then waist deep, then chest deep, and beneath the surface, something moved. He woke before he saw what it was. Sweat covered his neck. For the first time, he avoided the river at dawn, not because he believed, but because doubt had entered. And doubt sounds very similar to fear. The rains returned suddenly heavy, unforgiving. Currents strengthened. Boats struggled. One afternoon, a canoe capsized near the rocks. 2 men survived. One did not. The village did not gather this time. They did not need to. The whispers were enough. It is because of him. He speaks against the river. He has disturbed something. Kato heard it. He did not defend himself because something inside him was tired. That night he walked alone to the shore. Wind moved across the surface. The water looked black, not blue, not brown. Black. He stood there longer than he intended, listening, waiting for what? He did not know. Then for just a moment he thought he heard something, not a voice, not words. Just a shift, a movement beneath stillness. His heart began to race. He stepped back, and for the first time since speaking publicly, he felt small, very small. Weeks passed. Then months, fewer accidents happened. Boats began avoiding overloaded nets. Routes changed, fishing times adjusted. No one admitted copying him, but they did. The river did not calm. Behavior changed. Musa approached him one evening. You still do not bow, Musa observed. Kato looked at the water. I respect it, he said. I just do not fear it. Musa said nothing, but he did not argue. Fear was weakening, and when fear weakens, it searches for one last victory. It was a calm evening, too calm. The sky held a strange stillness. No wind, no birds, just quiet. Kato prepared his canoe alone. No bow, no whisper. He pushed into the water. Golden light stretched across the surface. He rowed slowly, further than usual, further than necessary. On shore, a child pointed. Will he come back? No one answered. Night arrived. He did not return. At dawn, his canoe drifted near reeds, empty. No cracks, no blood, no broken wood. Just absence. The river was smooth. Too smooth, Musa stepped forward slowly. He stared at the water longer than anyone else. Then he whispered, "The Nile waits." No goat was slaughtered, no drums were beaten, but that morning men bowed again before stepping into their boats. Not dramatically, just slightly, and sometimes very quietly. Someone still studies the currents. But no one speaks as boldly as Cato did. Because fear is patient, and the river does not explain itself. What do you believe? Did Cato disappear because of the river or because fear wanted its story back? Tell me in the comments, and listen carefully next time you stand near water. Because sometimes what we fear most is not the river, it is standing alone against it.